Just shake off.
Yeah.
Let the negative stuff go.
That's how you do it. That's how you embody unconditional love. You just shake off the negative stuff. All right, love you guys. Bye. Just kidding.
I'd seen.
And scene. Grand rising, beautiful souls. We are going to start doing this on a more regular basis, just talking about ways that we can improve our lives and embody more unconditional love. So, on my path, I've had some really challenging people to deal with. Narcissists who were verbally and physically abusive. And loving these type of individuals it can be very challenging, right? So one thing that helped me out in my path is doing the Ho'oponopono, or however you pronounce that. How do you pronounce that?
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. We'll just call it the Hawaiian prayer song because all those other things, I'm like, what? And I would take that individual and I would shrink them down to a 5-year-old, because anytime you see someone who's young, like 5 years old or, you know, around that age or younger, you can see their pure innocence and the childlike joy and love that they have inside of them. It hasn't typically been squashed yet at that age. So I shrink them down to that age, and then I bring them into my energy field, not them physically, but just their energy. And I say from my heart, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I do it, I strive to do it with as much feeling as I can. And everything is energy, everything. So when you energetically connect to another person's soul, whether they know you're doing it or not, it actually does help, and it helps shift those relationships. So that's one thing that's really helped me on my path of learning to love unconditionally the people in our lives that are really challenging to love. And, you know, when you love someone unconditionally, it doesn't mean that you have to want to live with them, right? Because there can be toxic people.
Yeah, you can love people from afar.
Yeah.
You don't have to hug them. You don't have to bring them into your house. You don't even have to look at them or see them. You don't even have to let them know. It's just good to send that love out anyways. Forgiveness, like, so I went through it and through the times, and I had some struggles with some certain people after letting go and releasing, but I still had these struggles with these people. I thought they had struggles with me, which they might have, and so I just took it to my job to forgive them and release myself from that connectedness of negativity that I felt that I needed, that was there. And then I just forgave them, and that just released me from all of that. It released me from whatever they were throwing at me, whatever I was thinking they were throwing at me. Forgiving it just released it.
Yeah. And forgiving yourself too, because I've seen a lot of times, especially women, but it can go either way, that get involved in toxic relationships with people. Sometimes, you know, when they realize that this is a toxic relationship and they remove themselves, I've often seen them beat themselves up and say, how could I have let that happen? How could I have done this? And forgiving yourself is the first step, right? In forgiving others too. Like, everything's just a lesson. So try not to be so hard on yourself, and when you're not as hard on yourself, when you can forgive yourself quickly and easily, then it makes it easier to do that for others as well. So yeah, just being like, you know what, everything, you can change the way you view anything. So when something like that happens, look at it like a gift. You know, okay, now I see that I need to create better boundaries in my life, and I need to pay attention more to red flags and the things that people are saying and doing before I allow them into my life and my energy. So that's, you know, not being hard on yourself, just learning to take everything as a lesson.
Yeah, and going way back and going back to forgiving yourself for the first time you kind of beat yourself up, you know, because you thought you needed to be some way, or somebody else was sad and you thought it was your fault, or whatever, or you did something that you're not proud of, or you know, you made a mistake. Well, that's all part of it. That's all part of the lesson. So going back and picturing yourself then, and picturing yourself that situation, forgiving yourself for the situation, forgiving yourself for reacting to the situation, forgive yourself for judging yourself for the situation, forgiving all those involved. And that releases you from that situation. It releases you from that contract. It releases more guck. It allows more to flow out. It allows you to be more clear and more of a crystal when you release those things that no longer serve you. So forgiving self over and over again sometimes, you know, going back and forgiving myself for thinking I needed to see it that way, forgiving myself for thinking I needed to receive that, forgiving myself for thinking I needed to give that, forgiving myself for anything and everything.
Yeah, definitely. One way that has helped me to love more unconditionally on my path, because I firmly believe that we can't love anyone else at a higher necessarily level than we've learned to love ourselves. We might think we are, but we're really not, because when you're giving all the time and not loving, you know, allowing yourself to have that space, then you're out of balance, and you're trying to prove your worth and love to others without really honoring yourself first. So one thing that's really helped me on my path when I first started on my self-love and transformational journey was looking into my eyes, because your eyes are the windows to your soul. So I would look into my eyes in the mirror every day, the windows of my soul, and I would say, I love you just the way you are, until I felt it with every fiber of my being. So again, this is not a one and done thing, because I would get my girlfriends to do it when I started learning it. I'm like, look into your eyes and say, I love you just the way you are. And most of them, like even beautiful I thought confident women would look away right at the end. They couldn't continue to hold their gaze and say, I love you just the way you are, because they didn't love themselves just the way they are. So this is something that can be, it's a practice, right? Doing it every day until you really feel it. That's something that is super, super important. And try it. It definitely won't hurt. What have you done on your path to help you to embody more self-love?
Yeah, lots of good things like that. Like forgiveness is a big one for sure. And then like not taking myself too seriously, not taking anyone too seriously, taking it day by day, and just you know, if something comes that doesn't feel right, and instead of just straight judging myself or judging the situation, just kind of shaking it off and letting it go. Somebody throws their guck at me, just kind of shake it off, let it go. Learning to be that clear crystal, so when somebody throws guck on me, it can fall right back off. It doesn't even need to stick at me. The guck can just be turned into nutrients for the earth without me even accepting it. So allowing anything that comes my way just to pass right through me, blow right through me, and root and ground. So not in allowing myself now from clearing out and forgiving and saying sorry, and not allowing that stuff to get stuck in me. Clearing out so much and practicing so much on clearing myself out and cleaning my divine crystal that we all are, and clearing that guck and letting that guck fall. And the more of doing that, the more free flow that I am, and the less things can affect me and get stuck in me.
Yay!
So clear your guck, drop your guck, give it back to the trees, to the earth, Mother Nature. Let the guck nourish Mother Nature. It no longer serves you, as you make room for more bliss. As you release your guck, you're making room for more love and more bliss.
And remember too, often when people say something about you, some judgment, or I've been called a lot of names for some of my opinions on social media recently, and realize that they're projecting. Often that's how they feel about themselves, and don't take it personally. You can really not let any of that in. Like most of it, sometimes like I'd get a little twinge and something might faze me, but most of the time I would just be like, I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself.
Realizing that we are that sacred mirror sometimes when somebody is hurting and they're acting out, getting it out, spitting it up. They may say, you're worthless. You're got no respect. You got this and that and that. I'm actually the sacred mirror as they're saying that to me. They're actually hurting themselves and trying to get that out and let that out. And so hurt people, and people just need hugs and love. And so shine your love to them. You don't have to go up and hug them. Sometimes that can elevate some situations with some people. If you just say, oh, I love you, I acknowledge your pain. Sometimes like, whoa, I'm not in any pain. And so it's good to just take it easy.
Yeah, and those people that are super prickly like that, that's why the energy work, that you don't have to be there and speak to them face to face to transform them. And if you do that consistently, over time, I promise, you will see those individuals transform from the work you are doing, because we are all connected. I had an experience a few years back during a sacred ceremony, medicine ceremony, and I was taught deep into my subconscious that there's only one. So everyone is an aspect of you. And I know that's really hard for the ego to understand, because we feel so separate. And, we're so into our individuality and who we are. But I've been reading a lot about the fifth dimension and unity consciousness, and we are moving into that as a human species. And so we really need to understand and treat everyone like it is us. Do unto others as you would have done unto you, because it is you in another form. And it's really challenging, I know, with those prickly personalities. But doing that, it helps everybody.
Because all is love, and love is all. So all love is love, and all love is all, and all is love, and all is all. So every lesson is a lesson of love. It's a lesson, it's a blessing, and all is that love. Everything is that all, and all that all is that love. It is the all. And so we all are that together. And shining your love light out to those that you think that you hate, or you think that you have that you think's a bad person, or you think that they're doing something wrong, or you think that everybody's experience is sacred. So no matter what you're feeling, if you feel hate towards someone else, or someone's throwing hate towards you, then you throw hate back, you're just putting more hate out there. You're just receiving more hate out there. So the best thing you can do is to shine your love and to shine your light and to love those people, to close your eyes and think of that person that you think is the worst person in the world or whatever, and just send love. Just send them some love. Just send some love their direction. And may they be blessed with love. May they see the love that they didn't have. And that's how we change the world. So, one love at a time.
Yes. Summer asked, she's curious to know that all the work, how you work through emotional anger, she's heard us talk about dealing with others, but how do you deal with your own?
Emotional anger? Mm-hmm. Well, the first step is breathing and returning to love. Like, anger is cool, it's good in a way, because it's an experience, and every experience is good. So to experience anger is okay. Forgive yourself for experiencing anger. Anger is there for a reason, but it's your choice whether you want to stay in it. It's your choice whether you want to live that way and promote that and expand that. So if you don't, expand love and go to love. So you're angry at something, switch it. Feel it first, okay, if I feel angry, I feel the anger. Thank you, anger. I love you, anger, for showing me what you're here to show me. It's there to show you something. It's there to open up something for you to see it. And it's there to show you maybe how you can pray for yourself better. how you can be better for yourself. So use that tool, any of those emotions that come up, use them as a tool by honoring them and see what they're there to teach you, and then return to love. So it's always going back. After we feel and honor those relationships, it's going back to love. So if you're in a state, you're in a room, this room of anger that you don't want to be in, then open that door and step into the room of love and stay in there. And anger might still knock on the door sometimes, but then just, I love you, and just keep shining it back out and just keep returning to love. No matter whatever pulls us away from that love, it's still love, because it's trying to show us something else. It's trying to show us what we can pray for, what we can change in ourselves, how we can be that change. And so return to love, feel that love, be that love, shine that love, receive that love, and shine that love back out. Love, 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 love.
Yeah, Summer, I know you're not interested in saying it. Move from it with moving away from anger with ease. I think the deep breaths, for me, like getting more present in the moment, and then okay, why am I feeling this way? What is it here to teach me? Why am I getting triggered? And asking yourself, those questions. And then if you really listen, sometimes things might come up because I feel powerless, or whatever it is. And then how can you create better boundaries with other people so that you don't give your power away,
and with
so
yourself.
that you feel honored? Yeah, with yourself and others. I think boundaries are super, super, super important. And that is part of love, unconditional loving yourself, because unconditionally loving ourselves first is the most important thing. And then we can more unconditionally love others. I've recently had an experience with someone that, I really, really love, but this person was creating some scenarios that were creating disharmony and not peace. And I love peace more than anything. It was so much that I just spewed it out on you guys. I was a little sorry. Good thing you didn't have to.
Love, love, love.
Yeah, love, love, love. So
The love is raining down.
I had to, as a boundary, tell this person that they couldn't live here anymore, which was really hard on me. But they were choosing to act in a way that I had a boundary with. And it doesn't mean I don't love them unconditionally. I do. So that's the thing. I think a lot of us think that we have to keep people in our circle to love them unconditionally. And that's just not true.
Yeah, and then the anger comes up with situations, and like I said, it's there to show us something. It's there to show us something. And I forgot where I was going with that.
A lot of times it shows me where I still see separation.
Yeah, and then who told you to be angry at that way? When did you learn that you needed to respond to that situation with anger? We were taught that we're supposed to be angry at this because this happens. We're taught that if somebody punches you, that you're supposed to be angry at them and you're supposed to punch them back. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
We were taught wrong so much. So what false belief is telling you to be angry? Do you really need to be angry at this situation? Do you want to react with anger? Or do you want to respond? Okay, why is this anger here? Why is there anger? How can I respond and not react?
Yeah, I've been reading quite a bit lately, and I've been reading some books that were channeled, so who knows how much of it is true, but I like the stories. One of them was Mary Magdalene and on her path, and it was saying that, these men, this was back in the patriarchal times when men really were threatened by women standing in their divine sovereign power, and a mob of men came to stone her. And instead of getting angry and reacting and throwing stones back, she just stood there and took it and sent them love. Like I said, whether or not it truly happened, it doesn't really matter. It's still an example of a way that we're taught to fight back. But who says that we have to do that?
Yeah, it was just kind of a programming and training. And so you don't always need to know the answers. You always don't need to know the emotions or where they came from. You can. You can say whatever you want to say. They are whatever you say they are. Everything is whatever you say it is. So if you say that this emotion was from this, then it is. You don't really have to. The mind, so the mind is a big blue sky. Thoughts, emotions, and feelings are clouds floating by. You have them, but you are not them. We are super magical creatures. We are all connected through the collective consciousness. A lot of those feelings and emotions are the collective's emotions. They're mine, they're yours, they're not mine, they're not yours. Yes, it's all of ours. So do I want to grab that cloud and feel it? I can grab this cloud and I can process that for you. I can grab this cloud and process that for you. I can grab this cloud and process that for you. Or I could just enjoy the view. The choice is ours. The channel that you tune your radio into is your choice. Whoop, 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 whoop. Happiness. Yay. I like that channel. Happy, 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 happy. So say happy in your life more than you say angry, and then you'll have more happy in your life than you will have anger.
Well, and it's all the way you view things too, right? I mean, years ago, years ago, if I made dinner and then I had to do the dishes after, I would be grumbling and be like, I made dinner and I have to do the dishes too. Now, I just switch things in my head. I get to do the dishes. I'm serving. I get to serve the people I love in this way. So switching the way you view things is huge. And it's a practice.
Because we were trained to view things a certain way. We were raised with TV, with teachers, with parents and churches and doctrines, and you need to think this way, you need to see it this way, you need to act this way and respond this way. I don't believe it. I think that was all bullshit. I'm gonna now find a new way to react, a new way to respond, and a new way to see things, because that way that we have been trained all these years was bullshit to knock us down and to not let us be who we awesomely are. We are all divine, magical crystals of divine light.
Yes, we are all God incarnate in a human form, all of us. And Yeshua said that years and years, 2,000 years ago. Know ye not that ye are gods? It's time to step into our power. And God is love. So at our core, that's who we are. We're all like, David and I both co-authored a book at the beginning of the year. And my chapter was called The Ultimate Artichoke. Because an artichoke, what's in the center?
The most beautiful flower if you give it enough time.
It's a heart!
Oh, yeah, when you kind of have to eat it.
yeah. In the center of an artichoke is a heart. But if you think about it, when you get an artichoke, it's all these prickly things all around it, though, right? Like, you have to peel back all the layers to get to the center. Well, that's kind of how I feel like we are as humans. We're the ultimate artichokes. In our center, and who we truly are is love. But we have all these little prickly things on the outside that have told us we're not this and we're not that. And we have to just peel back all of those layers to get down into the big, juicy center of who we truly are.
The beautiful, clean, clear crystal, that artichoke heart that we are, has been covered with spiky guck ever since we've been here, because people didn't know how to deal with their own guck, so they threw it on us.
Yeah.
And now we're dropping it. Shake off that guck. Let it fall back to the earth. Allow yourself to be clear and let more to pass through. Take a big breath. Breathe in the light. Breathe out. Let the things fall. Receive, release.
Breathing is so huge.
Receive, release.
When you can learn to really deep breaths and stay grounded, you will notice your peace increase, your anxiety, is gonna just drop away. So anytime you feel in that anxious or separate feeling, because we're connected to everything around us. Everything is God. The plants, the animals, anything in matter is God, right?
And everything not in matter is Goddess.
So if you can remember that, and like I said, it's a practice.
Actually matter is goddess, and divine thought spirit is God. the chaos.
The yin yang of the of the all. But you can't have one without the other.
And it is whatever you say it is.
Yeah.
And I say it's love and bliss.
It is. I had so much emotional trauma, like, I don't know, roughly 12 years ago, that I was really searching and digging. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I really was trying to figure things out. And this is what the God, source, the universe, Bob, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, taught me. Love is the only real. And that's super challenging to feel when you feel like you're anything but that. But at that point, my mind was so broken down that it was finally open. And so my soul, I felt it in my soul. And I knew that was truth. That love was the only real. If God is love, and we are all unique emanations that stem forth from that original source of love, then we are love. Everything is love. Even the stuff that doesn't feel like it. It's there to teach us.
Yep, because let's say there's love and then there's hate. So without seeing those extreme hate, we might not know the extreme love. Without the opposite of the poles, it's really the same thing. It's really just all love. Because there's no spot where they connect. There's no spot where one ends and the other begins. Hot and cold, love and hate.
Positive, negative.
Positive, negative. It's all part of the same pole. But the more we love, the more we love, the more we love, the more we're pushing that pole more towards love. And the hate and the others gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Love, love, love.
Love, love, love.
Thanks, love.
Thanks, love. And, be mindful of your thoughts, because your thoughts are creating your emotions, which your emotions are generating fields that are creating your realities. We're magnetic. You think of yourself like a radio station. And so whatever you're tuning into is what you're going to attract. And so when you catch yourself thinking something negative or feeling something that you don't want to feel, a lower vibrational emotion, take some deep breaths and switch it. Go dance, go frolic, do something, make yourself laugh, switch that energy and get in the practice of that. And when you find yourself thinking about things that you don't want to be focusing on, negative things, or, even things that are going on in the world, I observe them. I don't get too attached to them. I like to focus on things that I want to create. And so we're planting more. We're creating a garden in our home, and like a food forest. Really, we're growing all this food, and so we're creating the things that we want to see more of in this world. So do more of that. Do more of what makes you peaceful and joyful and happy. And pretty soon, the more you do that, everything else will just kind of fall away.
And so taking things come up, things of waves, the feelings, the clouds, they come in. And so first thing, whoa, right? Whoa. So take a big breath. Let it go. So thoughts in my head, like too many thoughts in my head. Thoughts go in my head. Thoughts are always going in my head, telling me, and doubts and blah, blah, and worries and blah, blah, all blah, 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 always in the head going on. And so I had to breathe and drop that energy down into my heart. And one of the ways I learned to do that was by mantras, saying something over and over again. I studied the ancient mantras, and I prayed, and Goddess gave us some new ones to shine through. And so the one I use the most now is thanks, love. So no matter what comes up, no matter what feelings go up, no matter what thoughts come into my head, if I want to change them, I just say thanks, love, 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 thanks, love. First it was love, and then it was thank you, and then it was thank love, and then it's thank love, thank love, thank love, and now it evolved for me to be thanks, love. So anything that you say, you're calling out and putting in. So the more you say thanks, love, the more love brings things to be thankful for.
Yay!
And there's a universal abundance of love out there. There's a universal abundance of goodness. All you have to do is open the doorways to allow that abundance.
Peel
to
off
come
those little prickly outer layers and get back to your center, which is who you are.
And those prickly layers are good too, because you can put those in the compost pile and the worms will eat them and the worms will poop and the poop will feed the garden and make the plants thrive.
We love you!
Thanks, love. Thanks, love. Thanks, love.
Thanks, love.
Love, 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 love,
Mwah, love, love, love. So we're just gonna send a little Reiki energy and love to you all.
Love, love, love,
Love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. We love you.
May you see all the love. May you see all the blessings. May you see all the lessons that are blessings.
Yay.